Man, this was my life at this point, so I had to go. Hey guys, let me tell you a story about how I discovered the band Linkin Park and how it turned my world upside down. So I used to live in a suburban neighborhood with friends my age. When I was 10, I had two really close friends. Let's call them Anthony and Louis. Anthony was 2 years older than me. He was an only child. He basically had everything that I wanted. He had really cool parents. He had a lot of Legos, a dog, tons of PlayStation games. I really looked up to him. For me, he was this cool and well-mannered guy. We used to play a lot of Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2, the Star Wars games. But there was we didn't need the audio because it was a lot of pew pew and a lightsaber. So yeah, we put down the audio and then he put on some music. There was Papa Roach, Star Wars gangster rap, and Linkin Park. Later on, he showed me the music videos for Faint and In the End, and boy did I like that. And when I saw Mike rapping in the End, I thought it was so cool, really the spiky hair. I thought that was pretty cool, and the music also was very catchy. And yeah, because Anthony was listening to it, and I was like, damn, this guy's cool. So of course the music he listened to was cool as well. He later on showed me also some other songs, but I can't really remember that well. But that is definitely the beginning of my Linkin Park journey. Every 2 years, we also had a party for all the residents of the neighborhood. And I mixed a CD for this party. I still own it. And the songs Faint, In the End, Runaway, Numb, and What I've Done were on there. And I was so eager to hear them, but of course he didn't play them. So I was kind of bummed out. I was like, oh, bruh, please, can you play these songs? But I played them once. And that was enough. It was not enough for me, but when I look back at it now, I can understand why he didn't play new metal in front of a neighborhood party. But yeah, it was still a pretty fun experience. So after that, my friends became somewhat of Linkin Park fans, but I took it
to the next level.
You know that SpongeBob chocolate guy meme? Chocolate? Well, I was Linkin Park. I was Linkin Park all over the place. It was not normal anymore. After that, my love for Linkin Park just grew and grew. I discovered more songs through YouTube and LimeWire, and just ruining the family computer by downloading all kinds of songs, downloading viruses. Oh boy, my dad used to be mad when he saw that the computer was crashing. Remember those Dragon Ball Z videos? Those careless times. I didn't really know the albums yet, that were Hybrid Theory, Meteora, and Minutes to Midnight. I didn't get the concept of an album yet. I just downloaded these separate songs. I remember finding these rare songs I thought was really cool. Carousel, Cross the Line, Fuse, Stick and Move, Dedicated. But there were also a bunch of fake Linkin Park tracks that they just named after a Linkin Park song, but when you play the actual track, it was not Linkin Park. For example, Body Grumbles by Dry Cell, My Reason by Spiritfall. There are tons of these. Are You Real by KJ52, To My Face by Tribal Ink, Refugee by Tribal Ink. There were a lot of fake Linkin Park songs out there. And I was not the only one that got fooled. I used to go to my local library and lend the CDs Meteora and Minutes to Midnight. I still wonder if these CDs are still there. Oh shit, yeah. They still own these CDs. It's been over 10 years. Back then they were in a bad condition. I can't imagine it, how they are now. There was also this other CD, Ozfest 2001, and it had only With You by Linkin Park. And that's the only reason I rented that CD. So I went to check out the CDs at the library. It was a rainy day, as you can see, but it brought back a lot of memories because I haven't been in that library for over 8 years. So there they were. I see they added Living Things to their collection, which is very nice. I felt that the cardboard was feeling flat and they used a bunch of tape to keep it in place. Also, the CD had a lot of scratches. Hey, who dat? It's the same for Meteora. Then we have Ozfest 2001, and on the back you can see With You. So yeah, these were in a pretty bad condition. I wanted to know everything about Linkin Park. I looked up their bios, their birthday. I studied what the band was about, their history. My parents thought that buying CDs, physical CDs, was like a waste of money, and I couldn't own them. But I could burn CDs, so I made like these fake Linkin Park CDs. I still own them to this day. So what I did was I burned the CD, and then I printed out a cover. It was black and white printer, so I colored them in. You can see it the best on Meteora. I did not really do that of a great job to color them in. Of course, I had a lot of fun coloring Minutes to Midnight. Took me a long time. I remember also fooling my friends. These were real. I don't know why, man, kids are weird. But sometime later, I actually got my first CD. That was Reanimation. I remember it very vividly. It was raining. I had to bike to the nearest record shop. Back then it was called Free Record Shop, if you can remember that. The store doesn't exist anymore. And I was looking through Linkin Park CDs because I knew they had Linkin Park CDs. They only had Reanimation left. I remember that this was not like a great album, but I thought, hey, let's give it a try. I still don't really like it, except for One Step Closer and Crawling. And Points of Authority, so it's also really great. But this just has a personal story attached to it. Me and my family also used to go to church every Sunday. There was this family just like us. They were their parents and two brothers. And one of these brothers was wearing a Linkin Park t-shirt. And when the mass was done, my parents kind of knew the family. So my mom goes over to that brother and she said, "Oh, you're wearing a Linkin Park t-shirt. Where did you get it?" And back at that time, I was like, "Mom, don't talk to him." I was really some kind of frightened from this guy who was 5 years older than me. And he was wearing a Linkin Park t-shirt. I was really looking up to that. And I was too embarrassed, too ashamed to ask it myself. So I was really glad my mom asked. And he answered, I bought it at large.nl. And yep, later on, I went on the site and my parents allowed me to buy my Linkin Park t-shirt. I also still own it to this day. It's too small for me. It's a small t-shirt, but this is my first band tee I ever own. And I will not get rid of it anytime soon, never. Actually, my mom was pretty cool when it came down to supporting my love for the band. I remember one day she came home with a poster of Linkin Park and I was like, "Mom, thank you so much." I was so happy I got that as a gift, just out of nowhere. And later on, I also bought some posters myself. They actually still are hanging out at my parents' house. They're still there, exact the same place where I put them. I also watch all the Transformer movies, of course, because they feature the songs What I've Done, New Divide, and Iridescent. Of course, I bought these Transformers DVDs. The cool thing about Revenge of the Fallen is that they actually feature Linkin Park on the back cover. I think that's pretty nice. And then Dark of the Moon, Transformers Dark of the Moon. I only own these three. Later on, I kind of was not interested in Transformers anymore. This one friend in junior high also knew that I was a huge fan of Linkin Park, and she had this youth magazine. It featured an article of Chester. He was touring back then with Dead by Sunrise, and she was so sweet that she cut it out and gave it to me, and I love it. I've read it multiple times since then. It was always in my night table, And when I was bored or I couldn't sleep, I just read this article. It was very nice for her to give that to me. I also made this school project for my music class. This is like toothpaste tubes put together. And here you can't really see it there very well, but it's like the in the end music video clip, like storyboard kind of something. Of course, these are the arrows in which direction you need to look. I don't know the grades for this project, but also everybody at school knew that I was a Linkin Park fan. Everybody in junior high knew that. So around 2010, I was 13 years old. I made a Facebook account and I remember just like adding random Linkin Park fans. Like, it was so irresponsible. I was 13, just adding Linkin Park friends. I tagged them in photos. It was weird, but I was so into Linkin Park and I thought, yeah, that's the right decision to make. At this time, I also discovered that Linkin Park had a website and you could make your own blog kind of profile. Like it was some kind of social media platform. And you could change your profile picture. You could also write blogs. You could write opinions. And I remember writing an opinion like, oh, why don't they come to Belgium? They go to Ireland and Switzerland and those countries are less populated. I was like making a statement like, please come to Belgium. But then in 2010, 1,000 Suns came out and they started touring. They also did a Europe tour and they came to Belgium. I was so stoked. They came to this rock festival called Rock Werchter and I had to go. I just had to go. Man, this was my life at this point, so I had to go. But there was one problem. I was 14 at that time and there was no way my parents would let me go to a festival, a full-on festival for like where most young adults are. I was too young. But the friend that gave me this article, her stepfather was also into rock music and maybe he was going to that festival and maybe he could take me along. So there was this tiny bit of hope. And yet, the stepfather did not decide to go. I also did not go. My parents would not go with me. And yeah, I was really bummed. I was so bummed. The stupid thing is, my brother went to the festival.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
And he was there with his friends. And he would not babysit for me. I kind of understand it, but it was so sour. He told me he knew all the songs because I played them at home. And I was jealous at him. I'm kind of still jealous that he was there and not me because I was supposed to be there. He still owned like the wristband. So yeah, this is kind of a nice memorabilia, but hey, my mom and dad said, there is another time. They will come back. 1,000 Suns, I also got. It was near my birthday, so I got the actual CD. For me, it was a bit of a disappointment because it sounded definitely different than the other albums. I'm going to sound like that fan, but I only like Hybrid Theory, Meteora, and Minutes to Midnight. I think it's positive that they changed and they experiment, but it's just not my cup of tea, and that's where I started to lose interest in Linkin Park. I didn't check their album releases after that. I heard like Lost in the Echo on the radio, but yeah, that was a bit the end of the obsession. So I call this the sleep period because I started to listen to more bands. My music taste was evolving. You can actually see it in my Spotify playlists. I made it in 2012. And you can see like there's no Linkin Park there anymore. They were still like a super big deal for me. I loved them very much. It was a time for me to discover new bands. During that time, I bought Hybrid Theory, Meteora and Minutes to Midnight on CD. So I still had appreciation and love for the band, of course. They even came to another festival in Belgium in 2015, Pukkelpop, but it was €100 for a ticket, and I didn't really like the other bands that were performing that day, so I didn't even go.
Stupid.
But on the 1st of July 2017, they came back to Belgium, and they performed the same day as Blink-182 and System of a Down, and boy, I had to go again. I had that spirit again of that obsessed Linkin Park fangirl that was 13 years old, and I had to go. But it was the wedding day of my sister.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
So there was also like no way I could skip that. It was just too important, even though it was so unfortunate that I couldn't go. I just had to accept it, that I had to go to the wedding instead of the concert. And back again, I was thinking, they will come back. There will be another time that they will perform. But yeah, this was the last festival performance of Chester. Shortly, he died after that. I heard the news during a summer camp. I am a guider. What's that the name? Like to guide kids during that camp. And I was also studying for a nurse back then. So I was kind of responsible for every wound, for first aid. And there was this kid that broke her ankle. So we drive to the hospital, to the emergency. The kid went to the doctor and the nurses, and I had to wait in the room. I took out my phone, I scrolled through the internet, and that is where I saw it, that Chester Bennington had died. And it was like this rush came over me. I texted immediately all my friends that were also Linkin Park fans, and they hadn't heard the news yet. It was very fresh news. And we were all kind of like we couldn't believe it. So later on we went back to our summer camp. It was the last day, and every last day we organized a party for the kids. And as a tribute to Chester, we played Numb and in the end, and it was a very wholesome moment. And to this day, it still aches me that I didn't see them live. I was close a couple of times. It's a part of me, a part of my childhood that I cannot fill. But recently the 20th anniversary of Hybrid Theory came out, and I was like, should I buy this? Am I a little crazy? But then I thought, yes, Linkin Park is a huge part of my life, was a huge part of my life, and I decided to buy the deluxe box set. I also did a unboxing of it. Linkin Park for me has a ton of good memories, and that's a bit of a part to fill it. I think I'm not the only person that lost track of Linkin Park, but with this box set, like it's a big family reunion, and I felt that. I also hope they do this box set for Meteora as well. I will definitely buy it. Hey guys, it's me from the future. While I was editing this video, I came across a post on the subreddit of Linkin Park made by the user u/sh1mt. It was a giveaway of a festival t-shirt by the festival Pukkelpop. Fort Minor performed there and Mike Shinoda signed the shirt. So me and the user messaged back and forth and we met up, and he gave the t-shirt to me for free. He didn't charge anything. Some people in the comments had the idea to donate some money to a good cause, and that is what I did. I'm donating 40 euros to suicide prevention and mental health. It's still a super big issue right now, and it's also the reason we lost Chester. So that is what I'm going to do. Back to the video. So that was the story of my Linkin Park obsession. I love the band so much. I love all the members of it, and they will always have a special place in my heart. I only have positive memories of Linkin Park. What's your Linkin Park story? Do you have any crazy stories, crazy moments? Have you seen Linkin Park live? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing or liking the video. I'm just starting out this YouTube video channel thing, and I would really appreciate it if you supported me. Yay! Bye!